Hello everyone. So today we are on to the final session of entrepreneur venture planning. So till now only 3 submissions have been done in EVP course. So today in the final session we will be going through the submissions. So we will be evaluating the submissions done till now. We will go through in detail and analyze each business idea and the plan put forward. Also in the last class I had given out a one of the good assignments which was developed in the earlier course. So that was shared with the team, and I had asked to go through that assignment and try to develop the current EVP assignment on the same lines. Once we go through these 3 submissions, we will once again take up that benchmark assignment, and we will go through it, and those people who have already submitted, these 3 people can do a resubmission after going through their assignment. Also, all those who have not submitted till now, once you go through this session, you should be having a much more better idea on how to develop the business idea and put forward a plan. So I think first we will start with the benchmark submission. We will see how the original submission had been done earlier from one of the well-scoring teams, and then we will take up the assignment submissions done by Jyoti, Pinky, and Sufia. Okay. So without wasting time, let's go into the details of the first submission. So I had initially said that we need to come up with a lot of details. First thing is that you guys need to submit a 2-minute elevator pitch video. I've seen only 2 videos till now, which I'll be ranking. All other students also have to submit their individual elevator pitch video. Okay, so the first thing was the idea. First thing is to talk about the idea, to phrase the idea in such a way that it is enticing to the investors. Now the next thing is when you talk about the idea, you have to talk about the problem statement. You need to state what problem you are solving with this idea. So let's just go through this e-Nashta, which is a breakfast delivery service. This is the PPT of e-Nashta group. So the PPT says that e-Nashta, the mission and vision. Okay, that's the first thing that they are explaining. The goal, the mission and vision of their company. So the most important thing that we need to check is the goal. So the goal they are defining as deliver healthy home cooked breakfast during the wee hours of morning for working professionals, and deliver hygienic nutritious breakfast at your doorstep. So these are the goals that e-Nashta has put forward. So now let's see what are the business problems that e-Nashta is attempting to solve. Okay, so what they have said is hectic work schedules and robotic lifestyle in today's workforce has forced them to indulge in binge eating, leading to obesity and other health problems. Look for quick methods to meet their breakfast needs. Not enough time to prepare breakfast. So they either opt cereals or eat out in company canteen, or even worse, skip breakfast. No reliable service which delivers freshly cooked healthy breakfast on time and on demand. So if you see here the way they have stated the business problem, it is like first they are drawing up a pain, a big pain with the people that we are seeing, and they are relating it to the work schedule. So what they're saying is that due to the hectic work schedule and due to the lifestyle, people are not getting enough time to cook their own breakfast. And since they're not able to cook their own breakfast, what do? they opt for unhealthy options. Okay, and the reason that they are opting for unhealthy options is because there are no reliable service which delivers freshly cooked healthy breakfast. So these guys have drawn out the problem in a beautiful way, in which they are saying what is a pain, and due to this pain, what are the alternatives that people are seeking out, and why they are seeking out this alternative, because they don't have a reliable service. So by drawing the picture of the problem, they are giving a direction to the solution. They are also uh, uh, indicating that there is no player in this space which will give reliable and hygienic and healthy breakfast service as a home delivery option. So then they're talking about their solution. So what is their solution? Freshly cooked healthy breakfast with personalized menu planning. So I think that personalized menu planning is a USP, unique selling point for this company. So personalized menu planning based on health and lifestyle. What it is? Just health profile and lifestyle. Okay, and this order can be placed through online or through web, and there is a timing for the order. You need to place the order in the previous day, or at least 1 hour before the delivery in morning. And the delivery timings they have stated as 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So basically it's a very simple service wherein a day before at the night you place the order, you say that this is the breakfast that you need. And also there are personalized menu planning wherein you can set the menu. You can say that on Monday you need this particular breakfast, Tuesday this one. So you can set in that way the menu and the timing, and the breakfast will be delivered at your home. And you can do all these things without going out, and without going out to the hotel and placing the order. You can do this just by logging into their website or mobile app, or even calling up their call center. So what this team over here has indicated is that all this process is very easy and well streamlined, because there is no manual intervention required. You just need to place the order. Either you place the order ad hoc, that is as and when you require the breakfast to be delivered, or you go for a personalized menu planning where you say that what food or what breakfast you would like to eat on a Monday, Tuesday, like that, and you set it. So they have drawn out the problem and the solution. Now the next thing is why now? So as I said earlier, we after depicting the problem and the solution, what we need to say is that why this service was not created by anyone else before. Why this idea has to be executed now. So what are the data points which are supporting this particular idea right now? So that is the question over here. Actually, there are other points to be put over here, which the team did not do. So basically, when we say why now, what we have done till now is that we have talked about the problem, we have talked about the solution. Now the point here is, if you have a problem, if you have a pain over there, and you have a way of resolving that pain by building a product for which people would pay money, wherein you can make a profit, then why didn't anyone else attempt it before? That is a question. Like, you're not the only person who has faced this problem, and you're not the only person who knows that the problem can be solved in this particular way. Then why right now we are having then why right now is the right time to solve this problem is the question. Now for that you need to dig deeper. You at this it is at this point that you have to dig deeper, and do some analysis, search for data, and come up with the reasons as to why this particular problem was not solved with this solution before. And are you looking at the right way of solving the problem? Is this the right solution? Maybe there will be scenarios. Okay, there will be scenarios when you would have stated the problem and you would have thought about a solution. One scenario is that the solution that you thought about would not be the correct one. The solution that you thought about would not be the correct one for the users. So that is one scenario. Another scenario is that the solution that you would have thought about would be correct for the user, but the cost involved for creating that solution or developing that solution is so huge that no user or customer would buy it. That is, the value derived by the customer for the money paid is much lesser. If that is the case, people will not do that. So if you think right now, traveling to outer space, that's not a viable solution. Like, people are getting bored, people want some excitement in their life. So you come up with a solution saying that, okay, why not do space tourism, wherein you send people to the outer atmosphere, or send people to the moon or Mars. Is that solution viable? Right now it is not, because traveling to outer space is prohibitively expensive and people cannot afford that. You might be having a few people who are able to afford it, but in general, there's no market for it. So that is not a viable solution, right? Everyone would like to go to the outer space, but once you build such a solution and you are aware of the cost involved and you put a huge price for that, people will not buy it. That is a problem. So in that aspect, in that second scenario, the solution would be correct, but people will not be willing to pay for it. So these are things that you'll have to think through. Now, over there, for this particular idea, another important point is large penetration of internet and mobile devices. Like 5 or 10 years back, people do not have attempted to solve this problem this way because the technology was not available. But right now, we have technology available predominantly in the way of internet and mobile devices and web devices which are able to connect to net. And you have a huge number of youngsters connected to the internet through mobile devices. So that is one more important point which we have to put over here. So the other important point the team has put here is huge number of youngsters migrating to tier 1 cities for jobs. This is another important point, because when people start migrating from their hometown or village to bigger cities, that's when the problem of eating out happens. People would be staying individually, so they don't have the option of cooking. One or two people staying together, it doesn't make sense to cook a full breakfast in the morning. It takes a lot of time, okay, and the time and effort is not substantiated by the number of people, so it doesn't make sense. And entry of large number of women into workforce, resulting in double income couples who lack leisure time. There is people who have money but no time. So this again is a very enticing point. If you look at the workforce history in India, right now we have the maximum participation from women. 5-10 years, at least 10 years back or 15 years back, the number of women in workforce was very lesser, and now it is increasing. And because of which we have two advantages. One is that uh, uh, women do not have enough time at home to do cooking of the breakfast. Second thing is that since both husband and wife are working, they have money, they have income, they are able to spend for fancy items. Now, if it was 10 or 20 years back, people would not be ready to pay extra money for buying breakfast every day. Even though you are able to deliver reliable and hygienic breakfast, people will not buy it because it is expensive. They do not find the value there. Right now, the situation is different. Since there are a lot of women in the workforce and they want to have some free time, some leisure time, they don't want to spend too much time in the kitchen every day in the morning. So there is an option that, given a option like this, people would grab it. And then 50% of the population in India is below the age of 27. So the demographic dividend is huge for this business. Like, we have seen a trend happening. The first 2 points indicates a trend. Now the third and final point indicates that this trend is only going to be bigger. See, get it? So when you combine all these points, it makes sense that this problem can be solved with this solution, and this is the right time to solve it. So this is the way you have to present it. Now you have to talk about the market size, the trend happening. So this is what happens. Now, since you talked about the problem, the solution, and you also indicated that this is you convinced the investor that this is the right time to execute this solution, then we need to look at the market. What is the current market doing? What are our competitors doing? What is the trend? What does it show? How many people are buying breakfast? What are the alternatives that they have? Do they have something like the breakfast cereals? What is the growth of breakfast cereals? The growth of breakfast cereals itself would show that people are shifting from breakfast which has to be made in a tedious manner to an easy manner. So those and people are ready to pay a bigger money for breakfast. So all these trends have to be looked upon. The next thing that we have to do is that we have to come up with the target customers. Who all are the target customers? Which city? What is their age? So you have whatever details that you can come up with. Those details will be very helpful. And once you have the details, you need to dig through the details, dig deeper, and check whether this is the parameter used to identify your customer. Do you identify your customer based on the gender? Is it based on the demographics, the age? Is it based on the location, the geography, rural area, urban area, tier 1 city, tier 2 city? Is it based on anything else, any other preferences? So you have to target your customer. So once you have done all this, then this is the time that you have to go back to your workboard and put a lot of effort in bringing up data for your business idea. Once you have the data, you can start drawing the high level plan of how you will be executing this business. So since this is a online breakfast delivery business, we can the first thing that we have to identify is what is the menu that we have to develop. So since it's breakfast, they have come up with these items over here, the basic items. Let's not go into the details of this menu. The point over here is COGS. They have developed the cost of goods sold, and they have also put the benchmark price. So the COGS over here, that is cost of goods sold. That is the most important thing in the menu that these guys have put effort and decided. So how did they come up with the COGS? So basically, for each of these items, what is the cost of goods sold? That is, if you take the example of rasam rice or say veg biryani, so that the COGS of veg biryani would involve the cost of rice, the vegetables, oil, cooking gas, all this stuff which is used for producing that menu item. It will not take into account the salary, the rent, the delivery boy expenses, all those stuff, because all these are fixed component. Whereas the cost of rice, oil, vegetables, all these are incremental components. So if you want to make 10 biryani or 50 biryani, the cost will be different. That is COGS. But irrespective of you make 10 or 50 biryani, you need to pay the same salary to your chef, the same rent to your facility, etc. So those are fixed costs. So over here, what they have done is they have come up with the menu items, and for these menu items, they have put the COGS, and then they have put the benchmark price after comparing it with the competitors, that is other restaurants in the nearby vicinity. So this does not mean that they are making veg biryani for 46 rupees and selling it for 120 and the difference is their profit. That is not the case. In business, we don't have simple arithmetics, even though simple arithmetics is what we use very often, but it is not conclusive. We need to dig deeper and put in lot of different variables and derive the right set of values. Now, since we have the COGS, we have to go to the other details of the cost. That is, apart from the COGS, what all other costs are involved in setting up and running the kitchen. So they have come up with all this franchisee run, deliver stuff, chef, all these things they have put. But before that, let's just look into their customer acquisition strategy, because all these calculations are driven by the customer acquisition strategy. Now, in the customer acquisition strategy, what they have emphasized is that they have a time period of 18 months. So in 18 months, they want to reach a particular state. And this 18 months has been split into 3 phases, each of 6 months each. Now, the strategy that they have followed is that they will first target Bangalore city, and inside Bangalore city, they are targeting an area called Whitefield. Now, when they target Whitefield, what is the acquisition strategy that they are indicating over here? Then they are targeting multiple areas beyond Whitefield within Bangalore city in the next phase. And in the final phase, they are rolling out across the Bangalore city. So these are the 3 phases that they have demarcated. Now we need to see what is the acquisition strategy that they have put forward in each of these phases. Now in the first phase, since it is very localized, they are not acquiring customers across Bangalore, right? So the right strategy that they are approaching is that they will pick up one locality where they are sure that they will hit the target customers. The way they have selected the locality is by checking the probability of finding the target customer. Their target customer is the working population, the migrant working population. And in Bangalore city, one of the areas which has got the most number of working migrant population is Whitefield. That's the reason they have selected Whitefield. In the first 6 months, they made sure that they publicize this facility within Whitefield and try to attempt to get the correct numbers in Whitefield. So what is the acquisition strategy? They're saying they will spread the news with flyer with newspaper, roadshow at apartments, then also use Just Dial, Google search engine optimization. These are the appropriate channels for focusing on one area alone, as other channels won't be focused on one area and is very expensive. So that is a very important point. So initially they have decided that they will operate only in Whitefield, because this is food business, right? It's difficult to scale. It is difficult to go from 0 to 1 in high speed. I mean, you need to spend some time and analyze the market. You need to spend some time with the customer, and based on your learnings, you need to scale up. That's the approach here. If your business is different from this, maybe something like a SaaS business, you will be able to scale up much more faster. So it depends, it varies from business to business. So here they have decided that they won't go with expensive strategies like digital marketing, Facebook marketing, or radios or newspapers. See this, the point is they will be using flyers with newspapers, not the actual newspaper advertisement. In the morning when you get newspaper, you will see the flyers. That is a piece of papers attached to it, advertisements. These are actually very cheap options, but they are very localized. In one area, you can approach some 10 or 20 newspaper distributors and get into a contract with them and give the flyers, and they'll distribute it for you. If you attempt to do the same thing across the city, it will become more expensive. But when you go for a locality like Whitefield or Andheri in Mumbai, so if you go to a specific locality, this approach might be cheaper. So since they have decided they will be operating only in Whitefield the first 6 months, this strategy suits well for them. Next phase is that they will replicate this strategy in Whitefield in certain areas, in certain other IT specific areas in Bangalore. And over there again, they will continue with the flyers, and they'll also do the road show at apartments. So these road shows are very important. When you don't have a brand name and you want to build a business, the best option is give an opportunity for your prospective customers to try out things for free. So that is a strategy put over here by these guys. That is, they will put road shows or stalls in apartments and give out the sample breakfast for free to people for them to try out. So predominantly on weekends, on Sundays and Saturdays, they'll put a stall in the evening over there and interact with the residents and try distributing the breakfast samples for free to get their feedback. And when they have tried these breakfast options, if they like it, they can take their phone and place an order for the next day morning onwards. So that is the approach. Then the final phase is rolling out across Bangalore city, and at this phase they are changing the marketing strategy from these road shows, flyers, newspapers to actual newspaper advertisement, Facebook and radio advertisement, so that they can target the entire Bangalore population and scale accordingly. So this is the customer acquisition. So mind you, in your presentation, you need to come up with all these details. You cannot just say that this is the problem, this is the solution, and that's it, things will work out. No, that is not the way. Once you state the problem and the solution, then you need to come up with your target customer. Once you come up with a target customer, you need to specify how and when you will be approaching your target customer and what are the numbers. So if you put a plan for say 24 months, you need to say that in the first 3 months what will you do? In the next 3 months, what are the targets? So at the end of the year, what are the targets? So all these details have to be put. So over here they have at least come up with the 3 phases. Now we will see what are the targets they are setting. So these are the targets that they have come up with. So they have certain numbers over here. You can go through the legend in detail later. So what we see over here is they have split these phases again into different quarters, and they are saying what are the total number of users, new users. So what they're stating is that every quarter they are doubling. So in the first quarter they have got 1,000 new users. In the second quarter they are adding one more 1,000 users, and then 2,000, 4,000. So it increases like that. So this conveys a level of confidence, and at the same time it is more of realistic. You're not saying that you will go from 0 to 1 million in 1 year. That's not a plan. It doesn't look like a plan. You need to say that in that 1 million, the first 1,000, how will it come? What time is required? What effort and money and time is put to acquire the first 1,000 customers? So you need to be specific on that. So these guys have put all these details. They have said that from this period, Jan to March, that is the first 3 months, they acquire 1,000 new users, and they have not put any revenue target over there. In the next quarter, they put a revenue target of I think it is 9,60,000, because they have 1,000 existing users. So these are the existing users, and out of the 1,000 existing users, 200 guys they are assuming 200 guys would be using it regularly. And when we say regular users, they are expecting average of 3 orders per week. So what they are targeting is they need to close 1,000 new users in the first 3 months, and out of these 1,000 new users, at least 200 should be regular users. And what is the definition of regular user? Regular users are those people who would order at least 3 times a week. So that is the definition. So you cannot have vague statements over here. You need to have clear-cut data, and you need to substantiate that data with your reasoning. You should be able to answer each and every question of the investor, saying why you have come up with this target and how you will be achieving these targets. So if you look here, they said they'll be having 1,000 new users. So at the start of the second quarter, they have 1,000 existing users. So out of these 200 regular users, so they've given the definition of regular over here. Now based on that, they have come with the revenue. 9,60,000 is the revenue for the first quarter. So like that, they are increasing. So once you have 1,000 users, you'll be able to add 2,000 users in this quarter. You can see the difference in this third quarter is that they are entering the second phase of their planning. What happens in the second phase? Yeah, in the second phase, they replicate the strategy in multiple areas in Bangalore city. Whatever they have done in phase 1 is one locality alone, Whitefield area. In the second phase, they'll be going to multiple areas. So once they start going to multiple areas and replicate their customer acquisition strategy, they are projecting a higher revenue. They are projecting higher number of users, new users coming in. And because of this higher number of new users, they are projecting higher revenue. So initially they made only 1,000 new users. So initial 6 months, the rate was add 1,000 new users every 3 months. But now when they enter phase 2, they increase their targets, saying that in this quarter, in the first 3 months of phase 2, they will add 2,000 users. And in the next 3 months of the same phase, that is the fourth quarter, they will add 4,000 new users, because they are very confident that whatever they have done in Whitefield, they are able to replicate in multiple locations in Bangalore. Now, when you put up these numbers, okay, before that, let's just complete this. So in this way, they increase the numbers, they increase their revenue based on that, and there's also increase in the regular users. Now, if you look at the customer acquisition, they have also given the cost involved in each of the phases. So you cannot, you should not be just saying that you will run some campaign, you will run some road shows, and you will give some flyers, etc. You cannot just make vague statements. As I said, you need to have clear-cut data. So you, in the phase 1, they have said that in Whitefield area, they'll be targeting 300 apartment complexes. These are not 300 apartment units. It is like one complex would be having maybe 100 to 1,000 units, right? 100 to 1,000 apartments inside the complex. So like that, they are targeting 300 apartment complex, and they're targeting 50,000 units in total. And what are they going to do? They're going to distribute flyers. So to each apartment unit, they're saying that they will print and distribute 4 flyers. Okay. So these are very important things. Even for a flyer, they have given all these details. You know, they are putting around 2 lakh rupees for flyers as investment. Now the cost of flyers, everything, the printing cost, delivery cost, everything has been included here. I think it's not 2 lakh rupees, it is 2 lakh flyers, and per flyer they are saying 1 rupee 50 paise is the printing and delivery cost, due to which it comes as 3 lakh rupees. Then they have also accounted for how many road shows to be done. Out of these 300 apartment units, they have selected some 50 large apartments where they will be conducting the road show. They have also put what is the cost per road show. So for road show, what all things are required? What is the setup cost for road show? So they'll have to put up a stall, they'll have to print some brochures, etc. And in the roadshow, they have to give free breakfast. So what is the cost for making these free breakfast? Now this cost, where would it come from? This cost, again, we can derive it from the COGS. See, so if they have to give for free 100 veg biryani, they know that exactly 4,600 rupees, that is 46 into 100, would have to be spent on cooking and giving this veg biryani for free. So all those will come over here. So this is where the data comes into picture. So in that way, they have set up the total cost of road show, adding all these. That is 20,000 setup cost and 5,000, and this has to be multiplied by 50. That is for each each apartment complex, they're spending 5,000 rupees, and multiplied, you will get 2.5 lakhs. Then there is this setup cost. So this brochure, stall, all these things is a one-time setup. So for that, they have put 20,000. So 2.7 lakhs in total. Now, adding all these costs, they will be able to say what is the acquisition cost of user. So once they add up all these costs, you will get total user acquisition cost for phase 1, which is like 5,70,000. How did this come? This came with the 2,70,000, which is the total cost of roadshow, and then 3 lakhs for the printing and delivery of flyers. So in phase 1, the strategy was to print and deliver the flyers, that is small notices A4 or A5 sized sheet printed with the information on the breakfast delivery service and what all menu items are there, what is the cost of these items, etc. with the mobile number or contact number and web address. So all these details would be there in the flyer. So the cost of printing and delivering that flyer plus cost of performing the roadshow, it came to 5,70,000. And what is the target number of customers being enrolled here? It is 1,000 plus 1,000, 2,000. So phase 2 begins with 2,000. What it means is that the end result of phase 1 would be acquiring 2,000 customers. So you come over here, we see that 5,70,000 is the total user acquisition cost. And how many customers will be acquired? 2,000 customers would be acquired. So how much would be the CAC, that is customer acquisition cost? It will be 5,70,000 divided by 2,000. It would come to around 285 rupees. So this is the way you have to calculate the customer acquisition cost. That is the cost or money that you have to spend to acquire one customer. Okay, so this will tell you whether your business would be profitable in the future. This is a yardstick that tells you that how you need, in which all areas you need to put efficiency so that you can achieve scale. So now we have added up all the costs for marketing your company in the first phase, and with that we have divided with the target number of new users, which is 2,000. So 5,70,000 by 2,000, you'll be getting around 285 rupees. So now you can say that you would be spending 285 rupees for customer acquisition cost in phase 1. Okay. Now we come to the kitchen setup and operational cost. So till now we have seen that what is the customer acquisition strategy and how much money would be spent in the first phase. And in the first phase, what is the revenue and the number of users they are targeting. And then if you go to the kitchen setup and operational cost, again, all we have is details and more details, more data. So in the phase 1, quarter 1, they have divided this phase 1 into quarter 1 and quarter 2. So in the phase 1, quarter 1, they have the setup cost. Initially, they have to set up this kitchen. So the infrastructure cost, which includes the kitchenware, utensils. You need to do all this calculation, how much money would be spent on this. So you should not be doing very specific calculation, but it should be at a very high level. It should be a rough guesstimate. Okay. So the franchisee deposits some 2 lakh, I think, and 2,50,000 as the infrastructure. So totally 4.5 lakhs. And the running cost, how much you have to, how much cost you'd be recurring, how much cost you would incur for the first 3 months. So you have to come up with all the details, how many chefs, how many helpers, cleaners, customer care executives, and all the expenses, electricity, water, kitchen maintenance and consumables. There will be a lot of things in the kitchen that you have to buy again and again. In the sense, not just your food items, right? The food preparation cost is separately put over here. This, apart from this food preparation cost, there is a consumables cost. You know, the dishwashing detergent, some liquids like that, and certain utensils will have to be replaced, it will be broken. So all this has to be accounted for. Now, what did this food preparation cost come? You can see over here. Phase 1 average order per day is 50. So they have decided on average they will be preparing 50 orders. They will be serving 50 orders. And average price of order is 100. And average cost of preparing, the average COGS they got from here. So by taking these COGS and comparing with the benchmark price, they have got that in average they are able to achieve 30% COGS. That is, when they are selling something for 100 rupees, the COGS that they are hitting is around 30 rupees. So based on that, they have done the calculation here. So every day they are targeting 50 orders, and out of for these 50 orders, the average order cost is 100 rupees. And out of the 100 rupees you're getting from customer, 30 rupees would be spent on the food preparation. That is, the ingredients for preparing the food. It does not include the salary. It does not include the rent. It does not include the electricity because those are fixed costs. This is COGS. So based on that, they have come up with a food preparation cost. And then there is also a packaging cost. That is, they have put how much packaging material and is required for packing these orders. So based on all these things, they are able to extrapolate that, and all these are, a lot of effort would be required in the beginning. Once you set up this data for one time period, you can extrapolate that based on the growth, based on the intended growth. So if you see here, earlier it was 50 orders, average orders. Now in phase 1 itself, Q2, in the next quarter, they have increased from 50 to 100. Okay, so that's how it is. So in this way, they have extrapolated, and at any point of time, this has to be in line with the initial initial plan. So the initial plan was that they'll have 3 phases, right? So phase 1 only in Whitefield. When they go to phase 2, they have to go to new localities. So what do you see here? New kitchens set up at Sajapur Road and Bannerghatta Road. And daily average orders increase from 100 to 200. See the difference. So this is in line with our original customer acquisition strategy. So the original customer acquisition strategy, which says that in phase 1 only in Whitefield. Phase 2, multiple new areas. So the same thing they have followed over here. So when they went to phase 2, they made sure that they account for the new kitchen that they are setting up in 2 more new places, Sajapur Road and Bannerghatta Road. So all these are again in line. Franchisee deposit was earlier 2 lakh. Now they are setting up for 2 locations, so it will be 4 lakh. And earlier the infrastructure was around 2.5 lakhs, which is now 5 lakhs because we have 2 locations. Now all these staff, everything would be increased. So all existing staff into 3, because earlier it was only 1 location, now it is 3 locations in total. And then you have the food preparation cost, the packaging cost and everything. And this is repeated again in phase 2 Q4, and again you are increasing the average number of orders. Mind you, this average number of orders increase would be in line with your projected revenue. So in the projected revenue, we are already saying how many existing users are there, plus how many new users would come, and out of these existing users and new users, how many are regular users, and what are those regular users? Those are people who order at least an average of three breakfasts every week. So working on these numbers, they are able to come up with this plan. So then you don't see any gap in this plan, right? It's perfect. I'm not saying that this plan can be executed as it is, but at least when you go through these numbers, there is no gap, right? So when they have put a plan saying that in phase 1 they will acquire 1,000 customers, the question would be how much money and how you will be acquiring, right? So how much money are they spending for these 2,000 customers? They're spending 5,70,000. And how they're spending? Through flyers and road shows, right? So there is answer for everything. And once you have 2,000 customers, how many do you think all 2,000 customers would order every day? Is that your assumption? If that is your assumption, then you're not very serious with your business plan. That's what it is, right? So out of these 2,000 people, you are rightly assuming that 20%, that is 400 people, would be regularly ordering. That's a fair estimate. And how did this 1,000 or 2,000 people come in the first place? You need to look at the numbers. So over here they said they will target how many apartments? 50,000 apartments. So they're saying they'll target 50,000 apartment units and convert 2,000 as their customers. So that's realistic, right? Looking at these numbers, even you feel that it's achievable. We are not saying that out of these 50,000 apartment units, we will be converting some 20,000. That is a huge number. But what they're saying is that with all this effort, they are attempting to convert. After reaching on to 50,000 apartment units, they are trying to convert into 2,000 customers. And after getting 2,000 new customers, out of those, they are expecting only 20%, that is 400 people to order regularly out of 2,000. it is 400 who is regularly ordering. So all these are realistic numbers. And once you have 400 people ordering regularly, and what is regularly means, it is 3 orders per week. So average on a day you'll be having around say 100 orders, right? So that's what they're putting in phase 2. I think 100 or 200 orders they have. See, here in phase 2 Q3 they have 100 to 200. So they have increased to 200. So all these numbers should be in line. It should be cohesive. Now we finally come to the unit economics. So the average order price 100, the COGS is 30, package cost, delivery cost, all these are put, and the salary cost 32, and then you have a margin of 15. So they have not put the customer acquisition cost over here. Ideally you can put the customer acquisition cost also. It might be after the unit economics, but you need to put the customer acquisition cost also. So we'll come back to the presentation. So here, let's go. Yeah. So the GTM strategy, the go-to-market strategy, the unit economics and go-to-market strategy are the two important things that you have to capture. So capture Bangalore market in 18 months, spread across 3 phases, each of 6 months. So they are given details. User acquisition cost is 285, revenue of 9,60,000, and 2,000 users they will be acquiring. In the next phase, they'll be adding Sarjapura Road and Banagata Road. The target new users, the total number of users that they are targeting now is 6,000. User acquisition cost is lowered now. See, the user acquisition cost earlier was 285, now it has come down to 200. Why is that so? Because in phase 2, they are going for more widespread marketing. They are not depending too much on flyers and not depending too much on road shows. They have reduced that. Since they have reduced that and they are building through the digital media, they are able to reduce the customer acquisition cost. And the next phase, you can see it will be much lesser. So the entire Bangalore city they are targeting. So when you go entire Bangalore city, they are going from 6,000 to 26,000. And the channel that they're using is FM radio, digital marketing. Again, roadshow at shopping malls. They're changing the strategy, right? In the first 2 phases, they've been doing the roadshows at apartment units, which is much cheaper, but the conversion rate and the target audience would be much lesser. But when you go to a mall, the number of people, the footfall will be much higher, but it is a little more expensive. So in that way, they are able to reduce their customer acquisition cost to 110. So if you're in any B2C business, it's very important that you have to have good control on your customer acquisition cost. You need to have the right strategy and tactics to reduce your customer acquisition cost. If you're not able to reduce your customer acquisition cost, you will not be able to turn your business profitable. So that is the example that you can see in today's e-commerce, right? So you have a lot of e-commerce companies coming in, but still their unit economics does not hold good because their customer acquisition cost is huge and they are spending a lot of money to retain the customer. The customers are jumping from one e-commerce site to the other. People open up 2 e-commerce sites and compare where do they get the cheapest mobile phone from. They see in one side they see for 10,000 rupees, in the other side they see for 9,900 rupees, and they buy it for that from that side, right? It's very competitive. So e-commerce companies are struggling with the customer acquisition cost. The customer acquisition costs are too high, and their customer lifetime value is not matching the CSC, because of which they are in the red. They are not making profit. So this is the GTM strategy. Now, how much money would they require? Based on their initial investments, all these numbers come up. Yeah, so in the customer acquisition cost, you would see all these numbers for customer acquisition and projected revenue. Based on that, they have come up with the initial requirement, 25 lakhs first, then again 25 lakhs, and finally 1 crore. And they have put the reasons also why they need this money. Okay, so the key things are unit economics and go-to-market strategy. So this is the, yeah, So the unit economics, they have given it over here, and they have also developed the P&L statement, the profit and loss statement. They have exactly said where the money is going from, where they are getting the money. All these things have to be correctly put. The operating cash flow, investment cash flow. You can go through all these details. I guess I have already sent you this PPT in the last session. Okay. So now we'll come back to the submissions that we had. So from Sophia Lee. So I think this is one group which has presented the submissions. This is from Sophia, Pinky and Jyoti. So these three people have submitted, and they have given the a fair description about their idea and how they intend to solve it. So basically, yeah, most of the people join corporate to survive in life and to say that they are working. So myjob.com will be a platform for all freshers and experienced person who are looking for jobs based on their skills and interest. So I have gone to the submissions done by Sophia, Pinky and Jyoti. So one of the main question, I mean, comparing with the PPT that you just saw now, if you evaluate your submissions, you would be aware that there are more things to be done. It's a good start for you guys, wherein you have beautifully written the problem and what the solution would be. But that is not enough. That is the first part you have done. That's great. That's a good start. Now what you have to do is that you have to come up with more details. You need to come up with the first thing that you need to come up with uh, why now? What makes this particular solution fix this particular problem right now? What is happening right now due to which your solution will be accepted by people? The first question, seeing your idea, is how you will be different, how you guys will be different from other job portals like Naukri, Monster, Shine, Hiree. So these are major job portals that we have. How would you guys be different from them? That is the first thing. Now, once you figure out the reasons or the essence of your idea and how it is different, then you need to convey on how you will be executing that. How you will be executing that difference. Now, what are your target customers? Right now, you have not specified the target customers. You need to be very specific on the target customer. Are those people, you just said that freshers and experienced people. Is it people working in technology professional, or is it people working in some different domain like telecom domain or banking, or is it a generic job portal for everyone? We need to be very uh, cognizant about the target market, our target customers. It's like this: when you close your eyes, you should be able to visualize who your target customer is. The gender of your customer, the education qualification of your customer, the salary level, the expectation, the industry, number of years of experience, education qualification, all these things you should be able to visualize. You should be able to see your customer in your mind. That's how it should be. So now once you have the target customers, you have to develop the go-to-market strategy. How would you reach out to your customer? Which all channels would you use to approach your target customer? How will you make your target customer know about your presence? No one knows about you, right? There are people would be knowing about Naukri.com, Monster.com because of these huge advertisements. Would you be able to do such advertisements in newspaper and TV? Would you be able to do that? No. So what is your approach? What is your strategy? How will you hit the market? Do you have any other channels? Would you be able to enter into partnerships with HR functions in different companies, or would you be interested in making partnerships with the talent development department in colleges and institutes, or would you like to partner with training institutes? So these are things that you need to come up with. What are the different channels through which you will be approaching your users? Okay. Now once you have all this data, now you need to come up with a plan. It has to look like a plan. That is, you need to say what is the total time period that you are putting. Is it 18 months or 36 months, whatever. Then you need to break up that time frame. First, you need to put a goal saying that in this 18 months or in this 36 months, this is the number of users that you intend to target. This is the number of users that you will be converting. And this is the revenue that you will be hitting. This is the expense that you will be having. Then break that 18 months or 36 months into small units where it is easier to validate. When you say that in 18 months I'll be hitting 10,000, you know, uh, 10,000 professionals, then it's very vague, right? But when you say that you will be hitting 10,000 professionals in 18 months, and the first 3 months I'll be hitting 1,000 in this way, and in the next 3 months I'll be hitting 2,000 in this particular approach, then it looks more like a plan. Okay. Yeah, so this separation, everything is fine. So they've already separated like who will work on what. Pinky will work on operation, finance, sales. So all these things are fine. So you guys have to spend some more time, come up with more data. And for other guys, you have to finalize on your idea, upload your elevator pitch. And I think the elevator pitch for this particular idea was only submitted by Sophia, I guess. Other guys will also have to upload the elevator pitch video, because elevator pitch video is not a group assignment, it is an individual assignment. So everyone has to upload the elevator pitch. And people outside this particular group, you guys have to submit your elevator pitch as individual, plus you need to submit the group assignment where you will say what your idea is, what is the problem that you're attempting to solve, how you will solve the problem, why this problem will be solved in this particular way, what ticks now, why now, what is there right now which makes sure that this solution will work fine. Then you need to come up with your target customers. You need to specify who your target customers is. And then you need to come up with the GTM, that is go to market strategy. How you will be approaching your target customer. What are channels you will be leveraging. How exactly you will be converting these prospectives into customers. Then you need to come up with the complete plan which will also cover the unit economics. You have to tell for one unit what is the profit and loss, how much are your expenses under different heads, and how much is your margin. So for the breakfast delivery service, one unit is one order. So one order, they have said that this is the cost, this is the salary cost, this is the setup cost, all these things they have said, and then said that this is the margin. So for every order, this is the way it is going to be. So like that, what will be your unit? So is your unit going to be the jobs, or is the unit going to be the candidates? Are you going to charge your candidates, or are you going to charge the employer for each successful candidate referral or interview? So you need to be clear about all these areas. Okay. So any doubts, feel free to email me. My email is .com, and you can call me anything urgent. You can call me over here. So that's all for now, folks. I hope this session is useful for you to sharpen your idea. Is helpful for you to convert your idea into a executable plan, because that is the whole intention of this course. And while converting an idea into an executable plan, you should be able to make use of your learnings in finance, accounting, organization structure, organizational behavior. So whatever you have learned in all these courses in your time with Sunstone, you should be able to apply it over here. So I hope I was able to convey enough and give you enough thoughts and questions. Now your job is to go through the session multiple times and sit with your teammates, brainstorm on the idea, come up with a better structure on your problem, and come up with a solution. Why now? Then target customer, go-to-market strategy, unit economics. That's what we have to build. So that's all from me. Good luck on completing this course. So please submit your assignments. This particular group, there is Jyoti, Pinky, Aditya, Amritesh, and Sufia. You can update the assignment once more based on this session. And other guys, please do your submissions in the next week ASAP. Please reach out to me if there is anything. Okay. Thank you guys.